Doing this here a long time in Boston. Celtics back in the finals for the 23rd time. Game one, Dallas has been very good on the road, 7-2 away from home. Story of the night, Kristaps Porziņģis entered to a huge ovation with 7:17 to go in the first quarter and began firing away and knocking down shots.
Yeah, he seized the moment. He just came out. He played with great energy. Listen, been off 38 days. You know, Kenny makes a great point. Being off and rehabbing for 38 days is different. But listen, he seized the moment. He's enjoying this. This Boston place is going bananas.
11 points at the rim, and then the block. Josh Green, an athletic wing, thinks he's got something. Porziņģis turns him away. Biggest lead at the end of a first quarter in NBA Finals history.
Oh my gosh, go get that.
Jaylen Brown, the crossover on Luka, and then takes dead aim at a couple of Mavericks on the back end.
Go ahead and say it, Kenny.
What am I going to say? Superman is in the building.
Jason Tatum on Cleveland. Then it's Porziņģis, a deep three. Boston hit 11 from beyond the arc in the first half, led it by 21 at the break. Better defensive effort led to better offense, Grant, for the Mavs early in the third.
Yeah, early in the third, Dallas found something. Efficiency on offense and getting stops defensively, getting back in the game.
22-9 start for Dallas. Cut the lead to 8. And suddenly you could hear some nervousness here in the building in Boston.
And I think they're going to need to do more of that. When Luka comes off the pick and roll and is quick and decisive, he can make a play.
Boston responded with an 11-0 run immediately after they cut the lead to 8. Brown with the block on one end.
Let me say it, Matt. Get that shot out of here.
And another block on the other end. And then Jaylen Brown using that screen and popping a three of his own. Celtics back on top by 22. And at that point,
it's a wrap.
It's just a matter of playing it out.
Yeah,
Luka has it stolen. Dereck White.
They were so efficient, prepared, unselfish, and they played hard.
The Celtics hang on to win at 107-89 for the franchise's 80th, count them 80, NBA Finals game win.
They played with great efficiency. You remind me of Grant Hill's daughter's soccer team.
Hey, I like the shout out.
Season lows in assists for the Mavericks as a team. They had 9, and Luka Dončić as an individual with just 1. Some work to do for Dallas. In the meantime, here's Joe Mazzulla at the podium here in Boston.
Opening statement or go right to questions?
No.
Bobby on the right on 1.
Joe, what led to going with Kristaps off the bench here, and what allowed him to get off to that start he did in the first half?
Yeah, just thought it gave us the best chance to win, and he was great on both ends of the floor. Defensive execution, game plan, fighting for a spot in the offensive end, being physical, and making plays on both ends of the floor. So I thought he played great, and that's the KP that helped us get to where we are today.
What did you see from Jason and the pressure he kind of drew defensively and how he played around that?
Yeah, just poise. They have a great defensive system, great defensive team, throw a bunch of stuff at you. Different spacings, different coverages, and the poise to just figure it out, make the right play is going to be the most important thing. I thought he had that, throughout the game.
Dave over here on the left side.
The Mavs were able to cut it to 8 in the third quarter. You guys respond with a 14-0 run, and Kristaps is making plays during that run as well. Just how big was that moment, and for him to continue his impact after that hot start?
Yeah, game management is going to be important. This is a great team. They have a tendency to go on great runs, and that's going to happen. And so you have to be able to manage those with poise and execution. Know why those runs are being made, and quickly put a stop to them with high-level execution. So KP was a huge part of that run. But I liked the way we handled their run, because that's going to happen. You're not going to stop that. You just have to have the poise and the toughness to work through it. I thought our guys did that.
Jake, 5th row towards the center.
Joe, Jaylen was your leading scorer tonight, but defensively, the 3 blocks, guarding Luka in space. What can you say about his effort on that side of the ball?
Yeah, what you saw tonight is kind of the challenge he took for himself coming into the year, not wanting to be defined by one thing, wanting to make plays, wanting to be a well-rounded player and get better and better. And so his spacing, his ball movement, his defense on ball and off ball. Usually when you give up a run and your offense gets a little stagnant, your defense goes with it. And tonight our defense kept us in it. And that's really important, is to have that defensive mindset. And some of those plays that Jalen made were a part of that.
Second row on your left.
Coach Shane on the Forbes. You mentioned the ball movement. Just kind of curious what you've seen in terms of when Jason or Jalen draw two, the ability to kick out and get the machine moving.
Yeah, I think a couple of great passes. JT stuck out. The one Jalen threw out on the corner. I think it was either Jalen or JT. But that's what those guys do. They have the ability to draw two guys, and the most important thing is making the right play over and over again, doing what's best for the team, reading the 2-on-1s. And when they're at their best, those guys are able to do that. And, I thought their decision-making helped control the game, especially when they went on that run, and we were able to get that back. We went back to, with JT there, and he was able to help us sustain that with high-level execution. So it's really important when those guys do that.
Third row on your left.
Lots to celebrate tonight here in Beantown. Game 2 coming up on Sunday, but the Celtics strike first. Our post-game coverage continues after this. Range, just mentioned, they generated just 9 assists, only one of those off the fingertips of Luka Dončić compared to 11 turnovers. We spent a lot of time talking about how they would deal with Luka Dončić before this game 1. Turns out, Grant, mostly they were just going to single cover him and work as hard as they could.
Yeah, single cover him, but they have guys that have length. I mean, Al Horford, we know is a big, can get out there, slide his feet, and just make him work, contest his shots. Jaylen Brown had the assignment most of the nights. They switch. They don't mind this right here. Al Horford, good defense, gets the block on that 3 attempt. And the length, Tatum, Brown, forcing him right, not letting him get to that step back. He knocks down that jump shot, but just having to work for everything. And what he's doing too, it's a lot of one-on-one. He's not getting anyone else involved. No assist out there. So a good defensive strategy. They're like, look, we have confidence that we can guard him, make him work. If he gets 30, he gets 30. But we're shutting everyone else down. And if you can do that, then you can have your way in this series, certainly like they did defensively tonight.
So Kenny, put yourself in Jason Kidd's shoes. You're going to the drawing board. You're going to the videotape between now and game 2. You see that strategy. What's the response for Dallas?
Well, I think I would slow the game down, because if you speed it up and you give the Boston Celtics 80 shots and you get 80, I just think they're more skilled overall as a team. But if I cut the possessions down to about 70, and that means Luka and Kyrie has more shot opportunities in terms of percentage, then I'm going to have a better chance. So I would have to slow the game down, play a little more half court, because my guys are better. They are one-on-one players. You can give them the ball with 10 seconds on the shot clock, and they're going to get a shot, where, that doesn't always happen with the Celtics. They move the ball, so I would slow the game down.
Does Luka Dončić need to be a 40-point guy for the Mavericks to win this series, or are there opportunities to get their offense going the way it has for much of the postseason?
When they had the comeback, he was coming off, one single screen roll, and he was being decisive. Whenever he's coming and going and the defense can sag and, they could drop back on him, he's had difficulty. Listen, they let him get his. Nobody else got involved. Kyrie's going to have to play better. The others are going to have to play better. And they're going to have to realize that when Porziņģis is on the court, you can't let him roam around. I think it'd be better to put him in the pick and roll, penetrate, have the defense collapse a little bit, and get your shooters a little bit more opportunity. Because, right now, I think they're trying to target Al Horford. He's doing that, and, he did a great job. But when you have a shot block in the game, you can't just let them sit back there and roam, because they were sagging in. And, Grant alluded to this. I alluded to it earlier. We can talk all the strategies we want. We're either going to shut Luka down and let everybody else beat us, or say, Luka, you can have 40, and Kyrie, and we're going to put you in this bunch. We're going to shut everybody else down. And that's what the Celtics did tonight.